Alright, so we got the 1123 spoilers, and it seems like this is the first chapter of the new arc, which is probably going to be Elbaf, because they are in fact setting sail to Elbaf. It is confirmed in this chapter. They are no longer on Egghead, it is over now, but we are still getting some lingering details from that arc in this chapter, as well as the Giants straight up power scaling here, but between Joy Boy and Shanks. That's actually how this chapter opens up, because in Egghead, all Marines are KO'd, even the Vice Admirals. All right, this is pretty wild. Though in the previous chapter, we saw Emmett, the giant ancient robot, untied like this knot that Joy Boy had gave him back in the Void Century, and once he did that, it unleashed like this Conqueror Hockey Blast that was probably the strongest thing we've ever seen in the series, maybe. Like, the impact and the lightning coming from it seemed to have engulfed all of Egghead Island, even bigger than that, and just blew away all of the Gorosei. Not only that, but it also seemingly like deactivated their devil fruit slash yokai forms and sent them back to Marijois. We also saw, of course, that it did knock out a bunch of Marines, but we didn't know the details of it knocking out Vice Admirals. I don't think we've ever seen that in the series, right? Whenever we see like really powerful Conquerors hockey, sometimes there are Vice Admirals there to show us how powerful it is, in fact, you know? Like, we'll see the lower ranking Marines get knocked out, but then the Vice Admiral will be able to hold their own. At the most, I think they might have dropped a knee or braced themselves or something. But for them to be knocked out by just the Conquerors hockey is insane. It's a nice little detail by Oda here, because I do remember seeing the Vice Admirals react to Conquerors hockey, if not just Momonga. Okay, so I actually have an update here. As I was going over the scene of Shanks's Conqueror hockey at the end of Film Red, Kizaru does say that he took out some Vice Admirals with it. So I guess we have seen it before. Not fully canon, I suppose, but Shanks does have a Joy Boy level feat here, I suppose. But going further, Dory and Bragi say that that Conqueror hockey could be even higher than Shanks. I mean, we can kind of assume that because, you know, Joy Boy, not even himself, just his compressed hockey from like 900 years ago blew the friggin' Gorosei away. So while the Gorosei do respect Shanks seemingly, I don't think they fear him necessarily, especially the way that they all seem to fear Joy Boy, and now we know why. Because he was the strongest freaking guy ever. Even Emu like freaks out in the previous chapter after sensing Joy Boy's hockey. So yeah, I finally get it now. I get why they're so scared of this guy and his reincarnation coming back, because he's like way overpowered. Kind of reminds me of like Frieza with the Super Saiyan stuff now. But we were talking about this in the previous chapter, like, is Joy Boy the strongest ever? And I guess this does confirm it. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Fume, because we all have bad habits. Given that my demo is 18 to 34 males, I'm assuming a lot of you have certain kinds of bad habits. Maybe you do it when you're by yourself, maybe you do it when you're out with friends and social occasions. Well, now there's a better alternative that helps you kick your bad habit in an enjoyable way, and that's Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device. It draws flavor to your mouth. It's not a vape because it has no vapor, it has no nicotine, non-toxic flavors, no batteries. It can calm anxiety with its fidget motions that has magnets, snaps, and clicks, and it has this really cool base that holds your fume for you, or you can spin it around. It comes in 2 aesthetic colors and has a bunch of great flavors. My favorite is the spearmint ice. So guys, Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you could be the next success story, because for a limited time you can use my code Zhoniin to get your free topper. It's the perfect accessory for your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. So head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com and use code Zhoniin, or scan the QR code on screen to get your free Fume topper when you order your journey pack today. Thanks, guys. Elbaf ship and Sunny set sail to Elbaf. Sanji looks at Vegapunk's corpse. New flashback. 2 weeks ago, Shaka discovered that there were some changes in the data laboratory. Shaka shared the information with Vegapunk and Pythagoras, and they discovered that there's a Vegapunk that betrayed them. They thought the traitor was Lilith, but they finally discovered it was York. Vegapunk says, "Use greed to create her. It was a mistake." Good old genius Vegapunk that we know and love. When they heard about Lelouch Kingdom's incident 1 week later, they realized there was no escape. Vegapunk, Shaka, and Pythagoras prepared the counterattack. Vegapunk modified the giant robot to hide Denden Mushi, and they recorded the video for the broadcast. Then they deleted the last 2 weeks from their memories to hide from York the plan they prepared. After they deleted their memories, Vegapunk found a message left by himself, and it said, "Have faith in yourself and die." Okay, so that's like essentially most of the missing info from the Egghead Island arc, I guess. At least surrounding Vegapunk and his ultimate outcome. So he knew, but now we know why he knew he was going to die, because once he figured it out, he left himself a message basically encouraging himself to die. Like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's part of the plan. But then wiped his memory so that the traitor, aka York, wouldn't know. Because the satellites like sync with Punk records, and it updates each satellite with the same information that was stored there. But it just seems like such a convoluted plan that wasn't necessary. Why didn't Vegapunk and Shaka just shut off the other satellite? Like the way that Atlas shut off Lilith. Why didn't Vegapunk just shut them all off and then just figure it out from there? It must be the greedy person that I made from the greed of my own personality, and I condensed it into a young, scantily clad woman for some reason. And then I made another one just straight up evil, and I gave them their own free will and consciousness, which also seemed like a good idea. Anyway, the chapter ends in the present with the giant pirates, Usopp and Luffy, celebrating that they are going to Elbaf. Usopp says, "To the land of my dream, Elbaf." And the last sentence is one thing Vegapunk said to Sanji and Egghead. He said about the One Piece, "I want your crew to get it." Okay, so yeah, we're going to Elbaf. Usopp saying the land of my dream. We know that this has been built up for Usopp for over 20 years, right? It's like when he met Dory and Bragi in Little Garden, he was kind of hyped up about going to Elbaf at that point, right? And then it's been recurring since then. Usopp with a giant, Usopp wanting to go to Elbaf. So hopefully this is the arc where Usopp gets some kind of power up or something, or at least some kind of character arc. But yeah, hopefully we will get the full summary tomorrow, and we'll go way more into the chapter than what we were able to do today. But have a great day, everyone. Let me know what you think about this stuff in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.